You know, I didn't even think it was possible. I didn't think that it was going to be possible for absolutely anybody to defend CNN after what happened yesterday and the night of the 4th of July. Think about that. They went and on the celebration of America's birthday, America where we have free speech rights, CNN decided to celebrate that by going after a 15-year-old on the internet, and they claim that it's a 40-year-old. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna believe that, right? They say it's a 40-year-old. Absolutely just probably a total deflection, right? But, I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. And then they go after him, and I thought, I tried to give people on the left the benefit of the doubt. And I said yesterday, I was like, oh, okay. Well, now, I see there's people coming out against it. They're saying, oh, I can't defend this. This is just messed up. I can't defend CNN here, right? I saw people on the left saying that last night. I mean, not the last night, the other night. So I thought, oh, okay. So there's not going to be able to defend it, right? That's what I thought. But a day has passed, and yesterday I realized that no, people defend it. People are defending it. CNN is defending them. They're defending themselves big time. Oh my god. How is that possible? I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how anyone can defend CNN right now. I don't know how you can even do it. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, July 6th, 2017. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into I found this article on Fox News talking about Ted Cruz and what he said about this whole CNN situation. I find it very strange that Ted Cruz is the only establishment Republican that I've found saying anything about this. This was such a good opportunity, but of course the party and the establishment, they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight at all. This was the easiest opportunity. This was the easiest opportunity. They could have all jumped on this, and they could have gone after CNN, but no, they didn't do that. You know what they did? They just ignored it. Like most of the media, most of the establishment, they just ignored it. So anyway, let's get into the article here. So Fox News put up an article. It says here, did CNN commit a crime? Cruz suggests warning to Reddit user poses legal problem. So, here we have, by the way, Fox News is the only outlet I could find saying anything about this. I couldn't find anyone else saying anything. There's just a total media, there's just a total blackout. You can't find anyone saying anything about this when it comes to the media. Now what you do see, if you're on Twitter, like I am, you see journalists, so-called journalists, defending CNN. And what's the guy? Andrew Kaczynski? K-File? I call him Mob Boss Andrew because he's operating like a mob boss right now. Who does that? Who just... I mean, honestly, think about it. I mean, he's operating like a mob boss. He goes to some random kid online, 15-year-old kid. He claimed he's 40, which is a total lie. He goes to some random kid online who made an edgy, not even an edgy GIF, just a GIF. It's WWE. Calm yourself. He made a not really edgy GIF, put it up on Reddit. This guy goes after him. And it's like he's like a total mob boss. He goes after him like, hey, you're gonna have to take that down, or else I'm gonna have to, bad things are gonna happen if you don't put up that apology. You know what I mean? You're gonna take down all your posts. You're gonna put up an apology, and if you take down that apology, and if you start putting up offensive posts again, well, there's gonna be a problem. That was what they said in the article. In the original CNN article, they literally just said, like, oh yeah, we didn't publish his identity because he apologized, but we reserve the right to if that changes. So that's clearly a threat. But then they go on, and then they're claiming, oh no, there was no threat. There's no threat. He did it. He apologized because he wanted to. He wanted to apologize. That's why he apologized, right? Like, come on. I mean, come on. That's their defense. That's their little spin. So you're contradicting yourself, because your article said, oh yeah, he apologized and he took down his posts, but if that changes, when we reserve the right to publish his identity. That's literally what the article said. That's not me putting a spin on it. That's literally what they said in the article. And now they're going back on it and they're saying, no. We didn't threaten him. No. He apologized because he just wanted to apologize. He genuinely felt bad and he apologized to us, right? That's obviously what happened, right? Oh my god, it's so disgusting. How can anyone defend this? That's what I want to know. How can I go on Twitter and I find Republicans like Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough, by the way, is an absolute lunatic. Trump calls him Psycho Joe. I mean, Psycho Joe. What a mess. I mean, honestly, this guy calls himself a Republican, and he's cheering on CNN doing this. Oh my god. Oh. How do you do that? Joe, how do you do that? Joe, how can you defend doing that? How can you defend that? Joe, how can anyone defend this? I did a little interesting dig, right? And by dig, I mean I went into Andrew Kaczynski, Mob Boss Andrew's Twitter page, and I looked at his liked tweets, and there was a whole bunch of tweets from journalists and stuff like that, so-called journalists, praising him and saying, "Oh my God, this is the journalism that we need. This is amazing. This is real journalism here. Good work, Andrew." How do you say that? How can you defend that? How can you say that? These people are disgusting. These people are sick. Journalists are the scummiest people you'll ever find. Oh my god. And they wonder why everyone hates them. Who was it that came out with the little thing, their little scummy article, where they said, "Oh, we have pro-journalists and anti-journalists." And the anti-journalists, well, they hate us because, they just hate journalism in general, right? That's what they hate. No, we hate you because you're scummy, and you do things like this, and then you defend it, and then you have your friends defend you. And then you have the entire media completely silent. You have the entire media complete blackout. Absolutely no coverage whatsoever. CNN, they put the original article out, and they never bothered to, make a follow-up article. They couldn't even defend themselves, right? They couldn't... I wanted them to put out, an apology or something like that. No. They couldn't do an apology. They couldn't even put up another article defending themselves, which I thought they might do, because they definitely weren't going to put up an apology. But they didn't even do that. Instead, you know what they did? They put up that original article, the night before. And then randomly, in the evening, the day after it was originally posted, they retweeted it. They tweeted the same story again. They're proud of it. This is their pride. They put it up on their front page. Breaking news! We found the identity of the man who made the Trump gif. Oh. How do you defend that? How do you defend that? CNN is criminal news network. That's really what it is. It's like a mafia. I mean, the whole media. That's what I've discovered. I mean, I already kind of knew deep down inside that the media is a bit of a mafia, but this just confirmed it. Anyone who had any doubts that the media is just a total mafia, well, this just proves it. I mean, they all work together. If anyone else did what these people did, they'd be in jail. You're gonna go and track down a 15-year-old kid and harass him and threaten him online? If anyone else did that, they'd be in jail right now. But no, because it was a journalist who did it, so they have protections. Journalists can do whatever the hell they want. No consequences. That's why when Trump comes out and he says we need to open up the libel laws, there's such a backlash. Because journalists have all these special protections. We're meant to have equality under the law. Whatever happened to that? You're the same people who always yell and screech about equality all the time, right? That's your big thing. Equality is like a god to you. What about equality under the law? What about treating people equally under the law? Just because you're journalists doesn't mean that you can do things that would land other people in jail. Anyone else did this, it would be stalking, it would be harassment, it would be a big lawsuit, it would be jail time. But no, CNN does it, and it's good journalism. Oh, this is the journalism that we need in our lives. Oh yes, good work CNN, good work, good journalism right there. It's so sick. Journalists are so sick. Journalists are the absolute worst, the absolute lowest form of life you'll ever see in your life. And I notice now that I haven't even mentioned anything in the article because I have so much to say about this. But I mean, really, I mean, what is there? They say that the line is being misinterpreted, and they're saying, how can they say any of this stuff? They go on, they try and say that he's 40, and then they defend people. I like Joe Scarborough, right? He tweeted out his support. He quoted a tweet that was like someone saying, "Oh, we're standing." They act like they're taking like a moral stand against anonymity online. That's like their whole thing. They hate that. Like I noticed this, right? And I mean, it's been a thing in the past, but now it just really has become a major issue to them, right? They always sort of hated online anonymity because God knows why. I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why, because they want to just... Because here's the thing. When you're on the left and when you're a liberal, all you know is censorship. That's all you know. Like, you don't know how to actually speak because you probably have mild autism. You don't know how to debate. You don't know how to speak. So, all you know how to do is just silence and censor. Right? I had this happen to me yesterday. Because people always say to me, right? And not people on here, but people that I know. They say, "Oh, you know, all you gotta do, you just gotta have a conversation. You know, you just gotta, as long as you just take part in civil discussion, well then you'll realize that they're just normal people, and you'll get to like them. You'll stop being so angry with them all the time." Right? People say that. I try to have discussions. You know what I get? I get 2 blocks, and I get 2 other people who report me to Twitter and get my account locked for 12 hours. And not only that, they lock my account for 12 hours, and then I go back on, and then they make me give them my phone number. What is that? I go on Twitter, and it's like, "Oh yeah, well, your account, we need you to verify your phone number. If you don't verify your phone number, well, you're locked out of your account. Sorry." Why do you want my phone number, you fucking stalkers? What do you people want? They hate anonymity. They hate that. And it just goes back to like this whole idea that, to me, the Democratic Party is the party of big tech companies. And I will get to that later on. Big tech companies in the Democratic Party. But they really are, because big tech companies also hate anonymity. I mean, they really do. I mean, here you have Twitter. Twitter's policies, right? Like, you can't have any anonymity at all. You have to give them your email, your phone number, all this personal information, your birthday. I mean, you can just lie about your birthday, but I mean, it's creepy. Why do you want all this information about me? Because they're creepy, and they always talk about, you know, like they always talk about the book 1984, right? I mean, how scared... They always talk about 1984. They're the ones who despise anonymity online, which is in the first... By the way, okay. Anonymity was what made the internet such a special place to begin with, right? Because it was, to everyone, when it first came out, you know, long ago, that was like the big draw, was like, oh, you can you can be online and you can be like whoever you really want to be. That's like the whole thing. Like, you can say whatever you want without having to worry about any consequences. It was like the most American thing, because you could just say things and not have to worry about being censored, because it was a free for all. But now they've declared a war on anonymity. They act like they're taking a moral stand. They're like, yes, good job. What was it, Andrew? Yeah, good job, Andrew. You're taking a brave stand against the use of anonymous profiles, right? They hate that. They hate it when you excuse me. They hate people who don't use their real face as their profile picture. Like, they hate that. Like, on Twitter, I don't use my face as my profile picture, right? I use a picture of like some raptor or something like that, some random picture I found. But they go after and they say, "Oh, look at this, hiding behind a profile picture." Yeah, it's the internet. That's what most people do. Just because you're big time elitists and you have millions of dollars, so you can afford to put yourself out there, and you can afford to say whatever you want without consequences, doesn't mean that everyone else can. Just because you have millions and millions of dollars and you can say whatever the hell you want and nobody cares, doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone else. They're just elitists. That's all they are. I mean, honestly, they can say whatever they want. When you're a big account on Twitter, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Meanwhile, I can tweet out at the ACLU and call them retards, which they are. They're retards. I call the ACLU retards, and I get suspended on Twitter. The ACLU is like this gigantic corporation. I mean, they act like they're a grassroots organization. No, they're fucking not. They're not. They're just this big organization, a democratic organization, where they pretend like they're some sort of like law firm. Like, what are they? Are they like a weird law firm? Are they a grassroots activist organization? What are they? But no, they're this gigantic organization. They have so much money, so much power, and yet I say retard at them and I get suspended. Meanwhile, you can take a look at Trump's Twitter account. Look at the replies to his tweets. Look at all the nasty shit people say. And look, I don't care if you say nasty shit about the president, right? I don't care. But I do care about Twitter not enforcing its rules equally. Because it's ridiculous that you have all these verified liberal Twitter accounts that can say whatever the hell I want. Meanwhile, I say something to the ACLU and I get suspended. So this whole CNN blackmail thing, it's part of a bigger story about tech companies and how much liberals just hate anonymity and how much they just hate internet freedom. They really hate it. I mean, they really despise it. And I mean, and even Twitter buried the story, by the way, because it was at #1 in trending for a long time. Then they started to move it down in trending, and they replaced it with stuff like Rob Kardashian. You know how I know they were burying it and how it wasn't just a natural thing? Because Rob Kardashian, at the time that it became #1 trending, it had 1,000 tweets. 1,000 tweets. #1 on trending. No, that's not how it works. You're obviously just trying to bury the CNN story. But no, they moved it further and further and further down throughout the day until eventually they just got rid of it. They got rid of it. Twitter Moments, which is meant to be like some highlight reel of like big news stories of the day. Twitter Moments, they didn't even have any mention of the CNN story whatsoever. didn't even mention it. So, they're all in it together. I mean, the tech companies and the media and the Democrats, they're all in it together. They're all part of the same fucking whatever the hell you want to call it. Same thing. They're working together, and they're screwing you. It doesn't matter who you are. If you use the internet and you love internet freedom, well, they're gonna screw you. Because they despise internet freedom in every form. So I'm gonna go ahead. So that's all I had to say about that, right? But I want to go ahead. I want to move on to Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is proving time and time again that he is our guy. And it appears that his star is rising. Which just goes to show that all of those media reports about, oh, Steve Bannon's being pushed out, total lies and total spin. I mean, we kind of knew that already, right? I mean, it's the media. Of course there's going to be lies and spin. So, I'm going to go ahead and get into that. Very interesting to see. I really do hope that the whole Bannon wing just takes over everything, because they're the ones who know what they're doing. Anyway, let's get into it, okay. So Breitbart had a little report here, and they said that Steve Bannon's star is rising in the Trump White House. It says that Steve Bannon, White House chief strategist and one of the architects of President Trump's long-shot populist victory in November, reportedly has the mojo back after a period of hibernation, and is now one of the top voices in the Trump White House, just as Trump looks to take on the initiative and push back against those in Congress and the media looking to stifle his agenda. So we have Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is probably my favorite out of the whole Trump administration, right? Because he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. All these people, Jared Kushner especially. Kushner he's everything wrong with the administration, just all piled up into one. If we get rid of Kushner, I can guarantee you all problems will be solved. Get rid of Kushner, get rid of Ivanka, and just like that, all problems with Trump will be solved immediately. All this hawkish foreign policy nonsense will all be solved immediately. So Steve Bannon's getting his power back a little bit. It just goes to show, right? So here, in the article it says, quote, Bannon, Breitbart News' former executive chairman, was widely reported to have been on the out in Trump's inner circle as he disagreed with Gary Cohn, Dina Powell, and other more globalist-minded members of the Trump White House, often putting him at odds with Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner. But it seems those reports may have been overblown or premature. Now we should have known that because it's the press, right? Obviously the press is gonna lie about everything they say. I mean, they're just incapable of being truthful. They just don't know how to do it. They have no clue how to do it. But it's a good thing to see. It's a good thing to see. Because, I mean, I hate all these reports, right? Because they've been reporting the same nonsense and garbage for the past 2 years. Every single week we get a story about, ooh, the Trump campaign or administration is in chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos. Trump is furious. He's furious. He's furious. He's raging. He's angry. Every week for the past 2 years, we've had the same exact story. They just take it's like fucking Mad Libs, right? Just take out some names, put in some new names, replace campaign with administration, right? Fucking they just replace. Here, take the same exact story, replace some names, alright, put it out, new story. Because they don't know what to do. Because they just have no. It's not journalism, guys. Let's be honest. They always say, oh, it's the Trump's war on the press. This isn't the press. This is a scam. This is the saddest excuse for a press I've ever seen. This is not a press. This is a mafia. Like I said before, right? It's a total mafia. It's like they run like mafia families. They do whatever the hell they want. They tell all the lies that they want. and there's no punishment. That's why when Trump proposes new libel laws, it's like, oh, there's big backlash because they don't want to be treated like normal people. Because let's be real, if anyone else did what the things that they do, if anyone else went after a 15-year-old teenager and stalked and harassed him online, they'd be in jail, right? But no, CNN does it, and it's journalism. Quote, journalism, right? It's a joke. CNN's a joke. The whole media's a joke. So anytime they have a report, anytime they have anything, I don't even take it into consideration. I mean, I think about it for a second, and I think, hey, maybe it makes sense, but it usually doesn't. Like when they tried to spin their story yesterday about how they said, oh, the kid was actually 40 years old. There's gonna be a 40-year-old making gifs like that on Reddit? Fucking Reddit, of all places. If it was Facebook, yeah, maybe I'd believe that. But Reddit? 40-year-old on Reddit. Okay. Guys, get over yourselves. No one believes that. No one believes that. Be honest. But anyway. Getting back to Bannon. Bannon has been doing a lot of good things. I mean, for a while now. Bannon's always been our guy in there. Just the other day, he proposed a tax hike on the rich in order to make it easier to do tax cuts on the middle class and the working class, which is a great idea. But of course, Republicans in Congress, they don't know what they're doing, so they just think that's a terrible idea. They don't even take it into consideration. I hate everyone who calls this healthcare bill Trump care. You know why I hate that? Because I even covered it, right? I read the article. I read the exact quote about a week ago, where it was someone who was close to who's the guy? Someone who's close to the majority leader, McConnell. Yeah, of course. I forgot about Mitch McConnell. Someone who was close to McConnell just came out and flat out said, like, oh yeah, whatever Trump says about healthcare, we don't really care. We don't really take it into consideration at all. We don't really care at all. He doesn't get us any votes, he says. Maybe in Congress, but with the base and with the people, he gets you a lot of votes. You dunces. He gets you more votes than you can ever imagine. You guys don't know how to win elections. You can win your shitty little districts with a gerrymandered and shit, and you have all the advantages in the world, but you cannot win national elections. You don't know how. You've proven that between John McCain and Mitt Romney. And think about this, right? If it wasn't for Trump, the nominee last year probably would have been Jeb Bush. You think Jeb fucking Bush would have had any chance to win at all? That's the thing. They don't know how to win. Trump knows how to win, but they ignore him. They don't care. He gets them. They probably would have lost Congress if it wasn't for him. I'm just saying, because they haven't done anything, and they still don't do anything. But Trump came along, and then the base, they were energized, and they decided, you know what? Maybe we go and maybe we vote for these people because we can't have a Democrats Congress because then Trump would just never get anything done. But they voted for Republicans, and now he still can't get anything done because Republicans in Congress are so useless on everything. So he has to use executive order and executive action. He doesn't have any support from his colleagues, so-called colleagues in Congress. That's the thing. Honestly, Congress at this point, Republicans in Congress, the Joe Scarborough, Reagan Battalion crowd, Anna Navarro, they're a separate party at this point, right? Like, and it's happening on both sides too. Like, we have a Republican establishment, and then the base, which are just totally at odds all the time. Then you have, on the Democrat side, we have the establishment and the base, and they're always at odds too. So on both sides we have this split. And we have essentially a 4-party system now. Think about that. Like, we have... Actually, no. I would say 3-party. Because when it comes to Democrats and Republicans on the establishment level, they're the same, pretty much. They're pretty much the same. Republicans in Congress are, for the most part, just as good as Democrats in Congress. Like, what have they done so far that's been good? You could say, oh, Gorsuch. Okay, yeah, but that was Trump's nominee. They just confirmed him. So, it's not really a win for them. It's more of a win for Trump, but okay. Other than that, what else can you say? The House healthcare bill, that wasn't a win. The Senate healthcare bill, which is a total flop because they don't know how to fucking do anything. The budget, forget about the budget. We will never get a good budget with them. I mean, what do we have to show for? They've been in for months. They had a 200-day plan, completely just did nothing on it. They completely threw that plan away. They've done nothing. I mean, they're useless. They're so useless. And then they have the audacity to go after Trump at every corner, at every opportunity. They go after him for these stupid reasons, for PC outrage reasons, right? They go after him because he tweeted about Mika Brzezinski. Guys, you don't know how to win. He does that. If you just stand by him and you defend him after that, the base would love you. Because the base loves going all out and going no holds barred. Because that's what... Look, Democrats do that. Democrats go all out, no holds barred. They don't give a fuck about your norms and your traditions and your established, respectable rules. They don't give a fuck. Republicans, they're so concerned about decorum and their tradition and their integrity that they don't know how to play dirty. Trump does, but then he does, and the Republican Party, which is so weak, they go after him for it. Oh, that was an inappropriate statement. That was below the dignity of the office that he holds and the dignity of all of us. As senators, I would never ever insult another colleague of mine. I would never insult a Democrat in my life because I have dignity, and I refuse to give in to the politics of division. That's what they always say. They always say, you're dividing the country. Oh, the politics of division, right? You can't be divisive like that, guys. When your opponents, do you think Democrats give a fuck about division? Do they ever say, when they're making up their policies, when they're making up their agenda, or when they're making up their platform, is there anyone in that room who's gonna stand up and say, you know what? These policies are too divisive. They're gonna divide the country. You think they give a fuck about dividing the country? They don't care. So why do you care? Why? They don't understand that we can't win when you have a party that they don't care about the rules. That's the thing. Like, we have a party. Right now, right? Think about it as like a fight, as like a boxing match, right? When you have one party that's playing by the traditional, old school rules, and then you have another party that doesn't give a fuck, does whatever they want, and then you have a referee, they don't give a fuck either, they let them get away with it. So what do? You play by the new rules, and the new rules are essentially no rules. At this point, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can shoot a congressman, and no one will really care. Right? The whole Scalise shooting. He got shot. The media, they didn't really care. And now, it's old news. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can have Democrats come out and say, they can, not say, but imply. They come out and imply that it's actually Republicans' fault that this happened, that this shooting happened. They can imply that, and no one cares. No one cares. You can have Democrats come out and say, repeatedly, over and over and over again, yeah, we suspect that the president committed treason. Over and over again, they say that. No one cares. Guys, you cannot win against these people by playing by the old rules. The old rules are over. So get over yourselves. Get over your fucking honor and your dignity. Get over yourselves, alright? Nobody buys it anymore. Play dirty, or you're gonna lose. That's all I gotta say. And Bannon knows how to play dirty. But if you don't listen to him, again, you're gonna lose. Oh shit. I just clicked my thing twice. Okay. That's all I gotta say about that. Still a little thing there. I'm gonna move into a little bit of Russia, not too much Russia, because Russia's getting really, really old at this point. So a little bit of that, and a little bit of the Democratic Party is just, I don't even know what to say. I just feel like I'm beating up on like I feel like I'm beating up on a 5-year-old right now, because honestly, that's what they really are. They have no idea what they're doing. Democrats have no idea what they're doing. So I'm gonna go after them. But first I'm gonna go after Politico for lying. Let's go. So Donald Trump visited Poland. Actually, he's actually in Poland right now as I'm speaking. I believe he's actually giving a speech right now. And he made some comments about Russia and about civilization in general, and about Europe and about all that kind of stuff. And Politico was not pleased. Politico was not impressed. What the hell was that? Something just fell in my room. I don't know what the hell that was, but something just fell. Alright, I'll sort that out later. That freaked me out. It was like a strange noise. Alright, anyway. I'm gonna start that story over, if you don't mind. I'm just gonna start that over real quick. So, Donald Trump is in Poland right now. As I'm speaking right now, actually, Donald Trump is in Poland. Right now, I believe he's actually giving a speech in Poland. He had a press conference with the Polish president, Andrzej. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize, Andrzej. I'm not even gonna try. I'm just embarrassing myself. But anyway, he had a press conference, and he went after the media, and he had some comments about Russia and about Europe, and Politico was not very impressed with what he had to say about Russia, because as we know, Politico is the same news outlet, so-called news, I put that in quotes, the news outlet that made some, on their magazine, they had an article about how Russia is hacking the military. What? No, they say that they're spreading fake news to the military. Because right now, the U.S. military, our soldiers, are actually kind of pro-Russia in a bit of a way. They kind of like Russia, because Russia is a pretty, when it comes to military, they have not really a warrior culture, but they have a strong military, and they have a lot of respect for the military, and it's a very, I guess you would say, tough country, right? So the military, a lot of people, they have a good view of Russia, because also, I think the main reason why they like Russia is because Russia's fighting ISIS. So why wouldn't you like them? But of course, the media, they don't care. The media does not care that Russia is fighting ISIS in Syria. No, they only focus on, hacking, which we can't prove. We cannot prove that there was any hacking to begin with. But we're going to say it over and over again for 5 months anyway. All they talk about is hacking. Guys, people always forget, and I say it over and over and over again, that there is no evidence of any Russian hacking. There's none. It started as a Hillary campaign talking point. It started as Hillary Clinton deflecting because she had the leaked emails And she said, "Oh no, the story isn't my emails. The story is Russia. Russia did this. That's the real story." That was her like deflection. But now the media picked it up, and now it's a big story. Apparently, it's supposed to be a big story. No one should fucking buy this Russia thing. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, I'll get back to you in a little bit, but honestly, nobody should buy this whole Russia thing at all. There's no reason for anybody to buy it. There's no reason whatsoever for anybody to buy it. And it's so, because it's so blatantly just overblown, and it's so blatantly just all a bunch of lies. But so Trump came out and he said that Trump said in Poland, right? He said, quote, "Nobody knows if Russia interfered in the election." And that's a factual statement, because nobody knows. You can't, like, you have your prediction, you have your all they have for, quote, proof, all they have are just like speculations, right? All the articles saying, "Oh, is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? Is he gonna help Russia in this way or in this way?" Even though he's done nothing so far to help Russia at all. He turned down the ExxonMobil deal. What happened with ExxonMobil is that they wanted to do business in Russia, but the sanctions were going on, so they couldn't. So they were trying to get a deal where they wanted to operate in Russia. They wanted to do business with Russia. And Trump blocked it. So he blocked that deal. And then he also went after Assad, which I disagree with, but he went after Assad. So how does that prove? So Assad is a Putin ally. So how can you say that he's a puppet, or whatever they want to say? They can't get their story straight, right? Is he a puppet, or is he being blackmailed, right? Which one is it? They change their stories constantly. Because they have to. Because they don't have any actual evidence. And what happens is evidence comes out that they were actually wrong in the past. So instead, you know what they do? They just change their story. First it was, oh, they're friends. They're like in it together. But then it was, oh no, he was blackmailed by Putin. But then, now they changed it back to their friends. So they flip-flop back and forth on their narratives. They cannot make up their minds. They just can't. So this whole thing's embarrassing. Anyone who believes Russia at this point, anyone who believes in the whole Russia narrative at this point, is just ignorant. I can't say anything else. You're just ignorant, because all the facts say that there is no evidence of any Russian hacking, whatever you want to say. There's no evidence of it whatsoever. So whatever they want to say about any of this stuff, Politico goes after Trump here, and they say that, oh, we said there's no evidence, but there is evidence. What's the evidence? It's just evidence. It just exists, right? Like, they use the defense, right? When we ask, where's the evidence? They always say, oh, there's evidence, but we just can't show you. That doesn't work. That's not a thing. You can't just say, oh, we have evidence, but we're just not going to show you. You just believe us. No, I don't believe you. Because you've been wrong in the past, and you've been known to lie in the past, so I'm not going to believe you. They always say that. They say, oh, we can't show you the evidence now, we will be able to later on. They've been saying that for 2 years now. So, at this point, it's just fake news. I mean, it's just fake news. It's just fake news, and no one should even take it seriously anymore. Because honestly, it's a dead narrative. It's a narrative that's been proven false. It's been proven to be false over and over and over again. At this point, it's just the whole Russia thing is just a joke. So while I was doing that, while I was talking about that, I noticed what happened. How before I heard that noise, I looked over to my left. You know what I noticed? It was actually my lamp. my lamp just blew up. It didn't blow up, but the bulb went out, and it made this like big like bang sound. That's what I was hearing when I got freaked out before. How did that happen? How did my lamp just go out like that? Alright, well, I'm gonna get a new light bulb then. Yeah, I was telling that story, and I just like, you heard that, right? I like paused for a second and looked over, like, what the hell happened there? Yeah, my light went out. I don't know how the hell that happened, but apparently it happened. So anyway, moving on from that, I want to go ahead and end with the story about the Democratic Party and their plan their plan to start winning. I cannot help but laugh. Their plan to start winning elections again is really something else. So the Democratic Party is trying to regain their spirit, because right now they have no spirit. Right now they're a defeated party. They have no ideas. They really don't know what they stand for anymore. So, 2 billionaires decided that they were going to save the party. And this is just hilarious, by the way. This is just the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, Business Insider has an article, and I figured it was appropriate to use Business Insider, because this is now the Democratic Party just being run by a business. That's all they are now. They're just the business party. It says, 2 Silicon Valley billionaires want to reinvent the Democratic Party with a new project called WTF. So they have these WTF Democrats now. And this is their vision, right? They want a pro-business, pro-capitalist Democratic Party. Honestly, the WTF Democrats, dude, what the fuck, Democrats? That's all I gotta say. What the fuck, Democrats? What the fuck? How do you think this is a good idea? So it says here, WTF is a fitting abbreviation for LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman's newest project to rethink what the Democratic Party is today. Called Win the Future, WTF is starting as a people's lobby where people can vote on policy topics that are important to them, like making engineering degrees free for everyone. So, it's being founded by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, and here we also have Mark Pincus, the founder of, the founder of Zynga, the co-founder of Zynga. First of all, LinkedIn and Zynga. I mean, what, like, if you're gonna have tech guys, at least have, like, relevant tech guys. Like, have Bill Gates or, like, you know, Mark Zuckerberg, or, like, at least have people who are relevant. They're still horrible, but at least they're relevant. You're gonna have Reid Hoffman and Mark Pincus, the founders of LinkedIn and Zynga. You're gonna have them run your party now. I don't even know what to say. This is the most hilarious thing. Guys, you cannot win like this. Like I said before, like, the Democratic Party has become the tech company party. They've become the Silicon Valley company. Because it's really all they are. It's really all I mean, they, like, look at their ideas. That's like straight out of, you know, Google and Apple. That's like straight out of their ideas, right? Like the whole anti-anonymity thing. That's a big thing that all the tech companies are all for, right? Tech companies, they all hate anonymity. They really do. I mean, between like Twitter, who forces you to give them your phone number and your email address, and Google, where they store like so much information about you. I mean, these mega corporations, they just spy on you, and they stalk you, and they invade your privacy. And yet, of course, the Democratic Party They're so populous that they're so friendly to these companies. The real populist position on these companies would be to go after them for invading privacy. That's what I would do if I was in any kind of position of any kind of power whatsoever. I would go after these companies for invasion of privacy, for censorship. They censor people so often. They do so much censorship. It's ridiculous. I've been banned from Twitter like 20 times. Google doesn't even give ad money to anyone anymore. I mean, I'm nowhere near the point of being able to get money from YouTube, right? But even if you were at that point where you could make money, they don't make anything. Any channel that can be considered even slightly controversial, even if they're not even a political channel, and they're just, I don't know, a young dude who makes gaming videos and he says curse words, they take away his money. Oh, you said damn in a video? That's it. We're taking away 90% of your income. They're like tyrannical. Think about that. I mean, YouTube is the worst for this, right? Because on Twitter, it's less it's less it's less important to people. But YouTube creators, a lot of them, this is where they get their income. This is like their job. And you're going to take away their money just like that, without any warning, without any explanation. You're just going to cut their income. And these are the people that Democrats support. Democrats support a company. These are supposed to be Democrats. They're supposed to be the party that's for living wages, and that's for workers over corporations. And yet they support Google, a company that treats its workers, because really, YouTube creators are YouTube's workers, because they make YouTube money, and they get paid by YouTube. So they're employees, these people who make the videos, and they put in so much effort and so much work to make these videos. Google just cuts their income for no reason. Just however there needs to be something done about that. I mean, if you can't make laws, have, like, I don't know, a creators union. I mean, I haven't thought it through, but it's an idea that I had. Have like a creators union where you stop YouTube from just cutting off people's income with no warning, no reason, because it's ridiculous that you see all these people who are barely making by to begin with, right? Like, they barely get paid to begin with, and now they have to deal with YouTube censorship and YouTube demonetizing them and giving no explanation and never responding to their requests for support. It's ridiculous. And in the case of Twitter, I would say that they should have to abide by free speech laws. You could say, oh, they're a private company. Yeah, but these companies are so powerful that at this point, they're a modern platform for free speech. I mean, Democrats are always the ones that say, they're always the ones that say that, oh, the Second Amendment is outdated because it was written when we only had muskets. Okay, then I guess the First Amendment is also outdated because that was written when we only had printing press. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have radio, we didn't have television. So, if the Second Amendment only applies to muskets, does the First Amendment only apply to print? And not radio, and not television, and not the internet? Like, that's their mindset. Like, I think the Democratic Party, they're like the party of, like, oh, that's just outdated. That's like their whole, when it comes to the Constitution, right? They say that the Second Amendment is outdated, and that because it was written when we only had muskets. And now they don't say, but they somewhat imply that the First Amendment is also outdated because it was written when we only had the printing press and we didn't have radio, we didn't have television, we didn't have the internet. That's like the implication, right? Because they support these companies like Twitter and like these giant corporations like Google, where they censor relentlessly. And then they say, oh, it's just because we're a private company, right? Even though the internet is the new platform for free speech. It's 2017. We need, like, the internet is where free speech happens now. That's the thing, like you can have a speech, you can have a rally, but if you want to actually have your voice be heard, the internet is the place to go. But the Democrats and these big corporations, they don't believe that you have a right to speak your mind on the internet. They believe that they have a right to shut you down and censor you for whatever reason they want. Notice how the codes of conduct on all these websites, they get more and more vague by the day. They get vaguer and vaguer and vaguer. You know why they're getting vaguer? Because they want to be able to apply them in any way they want. There used to be set rules. There used to be actual concrete rules on what you could and couldn't post. Now it's all so vague. It's all like, oh, if you offend someone, then that's against the rules. Okay. People could be offended by literally anything. Literally anything. What if I say that, I don't know, I'm offended by the English language because I'm a German speaker? So does that mean now that it's time to shut down every account that speaks English? No, because you could be offended by anything. That's why all these rules are so nonsense. And like I said, remember what I said yesterday about how these people act like school teachers? That's what it is. I mean, in schools, they have these same rules, which is part of the reason why we need education reform. And we need to reform our schools, because they're run by liberals and they're being ruined. But one of the things that they do is they will punish kids if they offend someone, even though you can be offended by anything. And you can easily just say that you're offended by something, even if you're not, just to get someone else in trouble. And that's what happens on Twitter with the UK police, where you had people on Twitter who would notify the UK police about an offensive tweet just to get them arrested. Just because they they had a little tweet that was skeptical. Not even being anti-immigration, just being skeptical of immigration. They called the police on that. Oh, these people are so disgusting. They're so sick. They're so vile. They're barely even people. They're so disgusting. I had that happen to me. I had someone on here, and I tweeted it out. It was a private message I got from someone on here, and they said that they had reported me to the police for Nazi speech. I mean, obviously that was a lie, but they use these threats. And I mean, that's what they do, right? They use all these threats. They use threats, and they go after people. And that's how they win. They shut people down. That's all they know how to do, because, like I said before, they probably have mild autism, and they don't know how to communicate. So they just shut people down. They just censor. That's all they know how to do. They just censor. That's all they do. And even on CNN, where they try to shut down the people who made that GIF by doxing him and by threatening him. I mean, it's a meme. A meme. Come on, CNN. It's a meme. Relax. But no, they go after that kid for a meme. Oh. And then people want me to feel sympathy for CNN. when they say, oh, now people are going after me, and they're going after my family. I have no sympathy. They screwed themselves. I have no sympathy for these people in the media who say, oh, feel bad for me. They're going after my family. They're going after me. They're protesting outside of my apartment. Good. That's what you deserve. You started it. You deserve it. And like Trump said, when we get these terrorists, we have to take out their families. When we get these terrorists, we have to take out their families. And in this case, Alex Jones was right. CNN is ISIS. Anyway, that was a story about the Democratic Party and about the what the fuck Democrats, by the way. It didn't sound like that, but it was, believe me. But anyway, that's it for today. That was a great day. Tomorrow I'm gonna try something new tomorrow. I'm gonna try and do a little award show. I'm gonna give out some nice awards. I think they're gonna be great awards. They're gonna be fantastic awards. I'm gonna be giving out some awards that to people who deserve them. And if you want to know more, my Twitter account, I talk about that. I talk about my awards a lot on there. So tomorrow will probably be the first of the award shows, and I look forward to it. But until then, that's been the show for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.